Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simulation Talk 237. We are here. What's up, Elusive Truth? Val, Ebony. Oh, wow. We have quite a bit of a conversation already going. That's exciting. Per usual, I forgot my mouse, so give me 1 second. See my mouse? Here. I did not forget my mouse. It was right here. Which is super exciting. Like my crazy hair? Time for a haircut, I believe. What's up, everyone? David, GNA, Nico, per usual. Thank you for sharing the conversation with Eric. I'm watching it right now. Very exciting. I'm going to put the website here because I keep forgetting. codeofreality.com if you want to visit. And if you want to follow us through Twitch, come help us out. The Twitch handle is LaserX83. Come watch the live from Twitch, LaserX83. Top her off and help us gain momentum there. It'll be very exciting. Okay. There's the website. What's up, Nicola? Thank you, Chris, for reminding everybody. Let's see how we're looking. So far, we've been doing okay. We've been doing like 3 to 5 people on average per live. We obviously have to go a lot more. Last one was 5. Woo! Yeah, it's going to take us a while, of course. Let's see, dashboard. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, not there yet. Gonna keep doing it. Hope people are coming to Twitch now. Until we grow the following a little more, we get to leave the lives there. Yeah. So obviously, at some point I'm gonna have to start playing these games. I just truly can't get around to it. I like Kurt. Yeah, Kurt is great. Woohoo! Coffee for the win. Thank you, Yoni. Oh yeah, 37,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's nice, and it's 237. How symbolic! Do we reach already 37,000? It's a big number. Now that I think of it. Blue Rooster, thank you, brother. Nicola. Okay, wow, you guys came early. I'm late every day, man. It's just like every time I'm about to sit down, literally like luck, like something happens. I have to bring something to the dogs. I got to do a thing. It's just crazy. It's almost like on purpose. Porpoise. Well, maybe I just need to give it an extra 5 minutes every time. I bet you it will still happen exactly then. Thank you, Nico. I appreciate you. Rich. Not yet, but good enough. So we can share the resources with the world. Let's see what we got here. We got. Oi. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Trying to see if we reached. How do I check the actual? Oh, there you go. Boom. Okay, now this one is the live. Almost reached 37,000. All right. My day is pretty good. My eye popped right when I said it. Went to the gym, which I don't get to do that much in recent times. What's up, Rose? Haven't seen you in a while. helped Kelsey's dad build a shed or level a shed. That was nice. And now we're here. What's up, Melanie? Who is that in the background? That's my wife who's resting. It's like, you see more or less of her? Which one is it? Okay. Video synchronicity on Discord. While I was reading it, I was watching an interview on YouTube. Baby, come on. And they're talking about synchronicities. That's hilarious. Nice to meet you, background wife. She's not a background wife. She's a wife in the background. Two different things. Trying to get me in trouble over here? I have a forefront wife and a background wife. I mean, I guess that's a type of an arrangement. Is it Mormon? I mean, what kind of thing is it? What's up, Rose? Good to see you. Renee. Val saying, hey, girl. She responds well to that.
Am I actually so far in the turn?
No, you're out. I tilted it up. Yeah, Kurt is one of my favorites for sure. I would agree with that. What's up, Enigmatic? Most Mormons aren't poly anymore. Boo, boring. Boring, Mormons. Go back to being exciting. You have magic underwear. How come you can't have multiple wives to wear magic underwear with? Feynman69 is a great handle. Who is that? Somebody we know? No trouble intended, just high as fuck. Have you tried mixing the spirit molecule with pizza toppings or other molecules? I got excited for a second because I thought you were asking if I mix the spirit molecule with pizza, and I'm like, well, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, of course. I think I mixed anything that's possible to mix. Pizza toppings go really well with the spirit molecule. If you do mushrooms and then after you've exhausted it for about 2-3 hours, smoking some spirit molecules, quite phenomenal. 420. Nice. You pick all the right numbers. Okay. What's up, Nemi Cat? So, what can we get into today? Did you already finish watching it, Nico? The conversation with Eric? Or just kind of like going through it? Ever heard of Dr. Michael Levine? Yeah, he's one of my favorites. His theories on morphogenic always reminds me of core. Yeah, I mean, it's not just his theory, he's also putting it into action. So yeah, Michael Levine is one of my heroes. He's amazing. Quietly changing the world without too many people knowing. Isn't it incredible? Would be great to have him on the show at some point. Working on a new lineup of content. Oh my god, this is amazing. What's up, Daniel? I wish I could see the picture because it's like way small. Kurt finally pulled more technical depth from Eric. Ah, now I know who you are. What is geometry? Wait. You know me, Daniel, with acronyms. I don't know what FE stands for. So geometry is a branch of mathematics concerned with properties of space, such as the distance, shape, size, and relative position of something. Okay. What are we talking about? So what's your take on it, Nico, after finishing it? By the way, did you finish the full geometric unity lecture? Or no? You think geometric unity might have legs? I wish I would understand the math better. This is a bit, and when I say a bit, I'm obviously exaggerating. Quite a bit above my pay grade. Do you understand the mathematics in there? Twitch emojis. Give me an example. I want to see, Ebony. I want to see these. And Daniel, what are you Googling geometry for? I'm confused. You don't understand differential geometry? You really? You don't understand? What does that mean, even? I mean, can you do it? So Daniel, I think I'm losing you. I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand how that is false. What is false? I was watching the Theories of Everything interview with Eric Weinstein when this live stream interrupted. First of all, it didn't interrupt. It surprised you. Oh wow. Okay, I agree, Ebony. Those are weird. Jesus Christ. Simple, which is a good sign. Oh, he said it's simple. Huh. No, so geometric unity is not geometry. It's not the same thing. Unhinged emoji, indeed. So geometric unity is Eric Weinstein's attempt at the theory of everything. It's not the same as geometry. You can watch the full conversation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding us, Ebony. I'm sorry. How could I forget? Come join our Discord, which the link of it was just placed on YouTube by Ebony in the chat on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, or Twitch LaserX83, or you can find it in the link tree on Twitch, on TikTok, on Danny Goller. Thank you for reminding us. Please distinguish. Oh, it's a completely different thing. Geometric unity is just a name, just like you would give it, like like special relative Einstein's special relativity. It's just a theory that tries to make sense of everything in the universe, basically. So it is an attempt at a theory of everything. Geometry is just a field of mathematics. Geometric unity is a physics theory, heavily resting on real shot. This is very, very disturbing. Sub Zalman. Yeah, these are wow. Can we sum up both? Yeah, no, I can't sum up geometric unity. This is exactly what this conversation was about. Toe, Eric, let's see. Okay. Hurt, toe, Eric. Boom, should find it. Let me go here. I'm going to find that one recent video. There you go. And I'll share it here. You can watch this whole thing. And if you really want to get into it, you can watch the 3-hour special that Kurt did of explaining all of it. Oh, for sure. Wait, where's the bearded dragon? That's my spirit animal. I don't see the bearded dragon. Show me the bearded dragon. Oh, I see it. Okay. Some say physics is based on geometry and mathematics. It would then be a subset of math and geometry. No, nobody says that. Well, okay, so the language is really important here. I don't think anybody's saying that physics is, well, it's described by using mathematics, obviously. And the whole attempt of quantum mechanics is to eliminate geometry and just describe everything in terms of quanta. So, at least in that sense, the geometry would just be an arising property of quantum mechanics. Can you say that physics is a subset of math and geometry? No. You can say that you can utilize geometry and math to describe physics, because physics adheres to everything that is actionable in the world. I would agree that ultimately, even mathematics has to be incorporated, the entirety of mathematics has to be incorporated into physics proper eventually, just because the fact that mathematical concepts are possible to arise in a mind, you would have to contend with that if you want to explain everything. So the fact that there's infinitely more mathematical descriptors that you can create in mathematics than you can in physics has to be folded into whatever physics allow for. But I don't know if it's very accurate to say that physics would be a subset of math and geometry. But I like the direction of thought. And the link that I've shared, Daniel, you can just watch that one. Eric was a narcissist. Yeah, I don't think he's a narcissist. I think he's just traumatized. Nice. It would be true that our entire existence is based on mathematics, and we have a chance to become self-aware. Formula? Okay, that one, Blue Rooster, I don't even know what that is. Math is so dreamy. With my accent, it sounds like meth is so dreamy. Okay, let's see what we can answer today. I agree. You love math? Yeah, I appreciate the attempts with Twitch, the help. Andrew Kurt channel summing video, and the interview was really fun. Oh, awesome. So you watched all of it. Amazing. Yeah, I'm still watching the conversation with Eric. It is interesting how the choice that is being made by mainstream physicists is to be so derogatory and degrading towards Eric. I don't understand this attitude, truly. If you could describe the entire universe with a mathematical world formula, you mean formula? Then this formula is lovely. Would be self-aware as soon as we figure out what the formula is. Don't know if you have spoken on this before, but can you explain your understanding of deja vu and its relationship to the physical space and also the world we live in? To clarify, I am not postulating this is true, just a real cool thought. Yeah, I spoke about it before. Top elusive truths. One second, she's saying, I have given this a great deal of thought, coherent light, and the fact that you all see the same symbols is insane. It's almost as if we really are in a matrix or a holographic simulation. Yes, it's how most scientists are. They just normally don't have YouTube channels. That is very unfortunate. They need to change their culture. It's really nice that society gets to correct them. Math stands for cold and unwielding. That's really funny. Hardened, there's nothing hardened in this world when you live in tune, I think. That's both poetic and true. um, no, I'm not. I'm not actually making fun of you. It's adorable. As relates to formulas. Um, as for, so first of all, I'm not really sure that the formula itself would be aware, because awareness is of a different kind, not necessarily related to anything technical, but the technical rides on top of it for sure. Hold on, let me step out of this. As for deja vu, well, there's a few explanations. One of them is that the brain basically mislabels a memory, and instead of labeling it as short-term memory that happened now, it labels it as long-term memory, and you think you remember it from somewhere, but the truth is you saw it just now. Your brain just mislabeled it. That's one way of explaining it. But the other one is that there's internal moves that your brain is doing that mimic a particular moment in that you've experienced before, and the set of events you're experiencing in that instance might even be different, but what your brain recognizes is there those internal steps that might be the same. So it projects the meaning of these internal wiggles, so to speak, onto this new event. And the event might even be similar, but it's the meaning is generated by the kinds of moves that your brain is making inside. Just like you would do a cheat code on on PlayStation, like up, left, down, RR, whatever it is. What was that? That was like from Nintendo, whatever. But you know what I mean. So your brain, if it does something similar, it would associate a similar meaning to the event, and you can explain deja vu this way. The truth is that I don't know why. I never really found them particularly interesting. I mean, they're kind of cool, but I don't know. It's just, to me, it's pretty clear that it's just a glitch of the brain. The self-aware part comes from the fact that we are a part of the universe described by the formula, right? If it exists, therefore part of the formula knows about itself. Yeah, but you need something to instantiate the function of whatever the formula describes. The formula doesn't mean anything to a not already conscious being. So the formula by itself does not entail consciousness. It is a descriptor that can be read by an observer that is already conscious. That's what I mean. One approach, if you are a wider scope kind of guy, is to say deja vu is moment replication. Yeah, you can think about it that way. Like, did the Large Hadron Collider change its logo, mandala? I feel I have good memory. Crazy stuff changing. Wait, fair enough. Thanks for answering anyway. Yeah. Do you need a dreamer for a dream to be real? You need an observer. You need a conscious instance. You can say that there's pure consciousness without a unitary feeling of being a unit. So then you just have pure awareness of some sort, which you can experience on meditation. And in that sense, all of it is a dream. Just the whole existence, all the content of existence. Wait, are these two? Oh, it's because both of you are blue. That's why. It's common thread of people who have storm deja vu feeling in the psychedelic space. Definitely synchronicities. There's an uptick in synchronicities. I don't know if there's also uptick in deja vus. Maybe there is. I'm not aware of it. I've always found it super interesting. It was deeper than generally spoke about, and nobody has ever been able to explain it to me in a satisfying way. Yeah, deja vu. So, is the mislabeling a satisfying explanation? I know it might not be the sexiest one, but it is satisfying in terms of logic, right? If your brain labels memories, whatever memories are, arrangements of information, and there's this particular label to a long-term memory versus a short-term memory. If you see something now and there's a glitch, and your brain attaches a label to it that says you've seen this before, because that's how it feels to have a label of a long-term memory. but it attaches it to a new memory. Would that be a satisfactory explanation? To me, that it satisfies it. Now, what actually happens, I don't know, but how does it feel any different from being part of the universe, a universe that is instantiated from being part of the universe that is not? How does it feel any different from being part of a universe that is instantiated from being a part of a universe that is not? We don't know. We don't know what consciousness is. Even if we want to postulate that consciousness is somehow a fundamental constituent of everything there is, you still have to explain the mechanics if you want to. Of course, if you're in the business of trying to explain it, you would have to explain how it translates to a mechanical function that differentiates itself from anything else. So we don't know, of course. That's the truth. What's up, Dimitri? If we have to get into this from form to self-experience, how come consciousness is self-aware out of body? I'm not sure that we need to instantiate in this form to experience. It's a trope that people repeat, but I'm not sure it's true. How you doing, brother? That is wild, Guru. Guru is saying I don't experience deja vu much. I experience people spawning out of nowhere when I'm by myself and I blink, someone's right there, play walking by me or saying hello to me. Whoa. Is this happening to you often? The cornucopia in the fruit of the looms is the biggest one for me. Oh, you're talking about what is it called? Mandela effect, yeah. Moment replication is that sense would not be accurate as we are improving almost in everything. Yeah, but the replication of the moment doesn't, like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the content you're seeing. It has to do with the internal moves that your brain is doing on a level of pure meaning. So it doesn't matter how much the content differs from any previous state, as long as the inner wiggle matches the inner wiggle from before, it would feel the same. Or that would be the postulation. Not for me because it feels like it goes deeper than that, but I couldn't explain. I mean, I get it. It's just that this one doesn't really occupy my attention that much. I'm not, dissing it at all. I think that just there's experiences that are truly profound. This one is not it for me. It feels very surface level, and maybe you experience it very differently. It's very possible. But to me, deja vus are cool, but they don't feel extremely profound. I don't attach too much meaning to them. Well, I'm so happy to hear Dimitri. Dimitri's saying he hasn't taken a break from. He took a break from Deems, had a child, and this is more fulfilling current life. Well, absolutely. Repetition of pattern and firing. Yeah. Hypnosis said, and I agree with that. Evolution syndrome. I mean, maybe for people who don't believe in that, might be different. Doesn't feel satisfying at all. Well, I'm sorry. I know the memory update itself, but it's different. Hear a glitch and look for the change and find it every time. Yeah, but how can you find the change if you how can you find the change if you didn't shouldn't you now be in a world in which you shouldn't remember the change? Isn't that like wouldn't that stand to reason that that's what's happening? Today I mostly feel like a part of the universe that has ended up in the bargain bin. No, come on, Theon. We're living in a good world. Does methylene blue extend the ability to see the core for longer? On 5? I never tried. I wouldn't recommend to try it because it is an MAOI and you want to avoid that before you do the 5. Consciousness is freaking me out for a long time. I thought just following everything that is logical and verifiable will lead to answers, but it for sure did not. All right. Well, Guru, that would be interesting to explore. I've forgotten people completely. That my friends swear we've hung out with multiple times, but that's different. Yeah, it's like the opposite of deja vu. I don't know if I see people but shadows. Small animals. You'll see a lot of animals in the molecule realms. Maybe it's more attuned to it. Yeah, well, that sounds lovely. I've never seen animals. I think both are good. Being logical helps you become grounded when your brain starts going too far into chaos. Nature likes balance, and it's good for you. I agree. Deja vu usually means an agent of the Matrix is watching you. Did you occupy a different non-human body on a trip? No, that sounds wild. That never happened to me. There's a theory of consciousness that postulates consciousness happens on a very unstable border between order and chaos. Yeah. But if the code behaves differently when you watch it? Like double slit, when you observe it behaves differently. Sure, but how will you ever know if it's really you that is making a difference? Because in the double slit experiment, it's not you. I appreciate you responding regardless of it not being not being too interesting or profound for yourself. Oh, well, I appreciate you asking the question. Can I steelman the Copenhagen interpretation? No. You don't have to steelman every single thing. I'm not Lex Friedman. It's dumb. It's just fun. I think. Can you steelman the? No, I disagree with it. Okay. He's like EO a little bit, or what's his name? The donkey from when he talks like that from Winnie the Pooh. Or Eeyore. I don't know what his name is. Lex is awesome. He's just funny. So I wish you would start doing like, can you strawman? um. So I think the only thing I can say that will kind of make sense of it for me is that I think some people just process information in a way where for them the last thing that seems to them is the most fundamental thing we can say about something is just what it is. It's like there's no need to explain it beyond that point. It's just how it is. I think it's the kinds of minds that say they don't understand what the hard problem is. And this has nothing to do with IQ. I'm talking about very smart people. So like Anil Seth is like that. He's famously saying that he doesn't understand what the hard problem of consciousness is. He doesn't think there is a hard problem of consciousness. He keeps saying that if you look closely at what actually happens there, you realize that the function is enough to explain that that's what it is. But the whole thing of the hard problem of consciousness is this: the quality itself is not really arising from any technical thing that is describing it. And I, when I read his book, Being You, I watched very closely what he's saying, and no, he just kind of loses the plot in the middle, basically. And that's, I think, what gives rise to things like the Copenhagen interpretation, which is that you say, well, this is a field of probability. If you're looking at the field of the electric field, it is the probability of an electron being here or there, completely missing the point that this is a descriptor. This is not the substance of what it is. There's a substance, there's a something. And then people who have this kind of a way of thinking, they basically go, yeah, but it doesn't make sense to ask about the substance because it's only substance to a perceiver. But the perceiver is what we're asking about. It's like this, like, I don't understand. It's like it's just too close to them. They can't. It's even happening. There's some instances of this of even happening to Joshua Bach, who's by far one of my favorite thinkers. By far, I love him. I love everything about how he thinks, and I disagree with him on a lot of things, but I just love the way he thinks, the way he talks. I mean, it calms me down. I love it. Um, and he's so deep. It's unbelievable. I really love the way he thinks. But it happens to him too, in my opinion, of course, when he says that we are just the story. So we obviously consciousness has to be software according to Joshua Bach, but then he says we're just the story. But I'm like, no, because you still don't have to explain why this. What is it? So the thing is always saying, no, it doesn't make sense to ask what it is. No, it does. It does. You just decided it doesn't. So it's like there's a something, right? The reason that it's justified is because there's a something. No matter how it comes about, there's a something that appears as something. That alone is the story in full, right? If there will be nothing to talk about, then it wouldn't make any sense. To say that just because you look closer, your inspection makes what you thought there look like something else, to the point where you just diffuse into the ethereal element of explanation. It's only because you have no more ability to penetrate beyond a certain level where you can get an experiential level on that. You can't experience the Planck length. So because of that, when your descriptor, your mathematics, get to the end of its ability to interact with you as the observer to tell you that something else is happening, you're now saying, well, beyond that point, it doesn't make any sense to ask questions. You have no direct access to it, not experientially and not descriptively. So all you can really say is that now I have no more. There's nothing I can say about it. But it's not quite the same as saying it doesn't make any sense to ask something about it. Those are not the same things. What's up, Casey? How you doing, brother? So in that sense, I would say if you looking at the world in that way, I would understand if you get to a point of like, listen, this is just a wave that describes the probability of everything happening. Thank you so much for the rose, brother. And beyond that point, it's really an incoherent question to ask, what is that thing? Of course, like it's just a preference. They say, well, it doesn't make any sense to think there's infinite worlds. It seems to be infinitely complex. But no, it's just it's like the next logical step. If in fact, it's a lot less logical to say that something that isn't influencing something that is. That's why I can't reconcile it or steelman it. The only thing I can say is I can maybe understand the state of mind that one might have in order to entertain that as a thing. Copenhagen helps me sleep nicely. Nice. That's the poetry. Why? I prefer Infinite Worlds. Copenhagen just assumes there is an observer. This observer does not need to be explained, and neither does a collapse of a wave function. I would disagree with that. The reason that it's not the Copenhagen interpretation that assumes an observer. You don't need the observer is an interesting one because it's the only thing in existence. The only thing in existence that needs no justification whatsoever because you have a direct experience of it. So the observer is something that you need no other evidence for it aside from the fact that something is happening right now behind your eyes. So you know for a fact that there's nothing else is more certain than there is an observation, a moment of an observer. What is it? That's a different question, and we don't know. But the fact that there is a moment of observing and it manifests right now as you feeling yourself to be behind your eyes or behind your chest, however you experience yourself, that is not under question. So that is the only thing you can actually take to the bank. This is the only thing that is the most sure thing you can ever know about. It is not arising from any theory. It is just a fact, the most solid fact you can ever talk about. I think simulation is the perfect way, but then what does that mean? Anything goes? No, not anything goes. Simulation still needs that it operates by a rule set, and you have to describe the rule set. You have to describe the rules by which the rule set is arranged. Simulation just cause the effects points up. No, simulation because it is. It's computationally rendered. Toads and rocks. Perhaps it's a Minecraft style game and winning is besides the point. Maybe. What's up, Terry? No, I want to watch Toads. Elizabeth is saying EG plus AI generator can now reconstruct what you're seeing. Yeah, we had this for a while. I don't know if what you're mentioning is more coherent than what we had. That would be interesting. Wait, what? There are hundreds of reports of toads, frogs, being inside rocks that have been closed up for who knows how long. They are alive when the rocks are opened. So they're alive when the rock. What? I gotta look this up. What's up, Terry? Thank you, Yoni. Can I steal in computational consciousness theory? I don't know what computational consciousness theory is. Oh, I wish it would be hypnosis. I'm doing great, Casey. Good to see you that you joined us. So my theory is toads are some sort of token to collect. And if a player manages to dig it up, this is great, or something is experience or an achievement. This is great. Can we look up toads and rocks? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's see. Are there toads in rocks that are still alive when the rocks are broken? The internet is a wild place. While reports of toads entombed in rocks and seemingly alive when unearthed are common, they are generally considered myths or hoax. There's no scientific evidence to support the idea that toads can survive for extended periods of time, such as a year, enclosed within solid rocks. I mean, I can understand if you're talking about fossils, but that's different from what you're describing, I would assume. So there's no scientific evidence. Buckland's experiment. Oxford geologist William Buckland conducted an experiment in 1825 where he placed toads in cavities in different parts of his body. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. 1825, where he placed toads in cavities within rocks, sealed the entrances, and then observed them over time. While some toads in porous limestone were still alive after a year, Buckland concluded that the toads could not survive inside rocks of extended length of time. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of somebody with way too much time on their hands. Yes, it's hypnosis. I'm talking on YouTube. Dango Thoughts on YouTube. If you want to join, DANGO Thoughts. You can find it in the link tree in my bio on TikTok as well. No way toad can survive a year in limestone. Poor toads, exactly. Could the toads have been hibernating? But they're hibernating in ice, no? So this one seems, on the surface at least, seems to be busted. Try new Google VL3 AI video thing. It's crazy how real it can get. No. The internet is a wild place. No way to survive a year in limestone. I seen a thing where they can map the inside of a room, your house, in 3D using Wi-Fi or some kind of signals like sonar, basically. Oh yeah, this has been going around for a while. I have this weird thing where I don't know why it doesn't grab me. The London hammer is an iron hammer along with a wooden handle. It was found encased in Ordovician rock near London, Texas. Wait, what? I think something jumped here. Oh, okay. London and Texas? Or there's London, Texas. What? Okay. The rock around it is said to be 400 million years old. Yeah, I would say that would be probably a mistake in carbon dating or some other stuff, something like that. That would be a misidentification of the age. I'm willing to bet a lot of money on that. That's not a realistic claim. A tool from 400 million years ago. I don't think even the most tinfoily people among us postulate something like this. I mean, this is, you're talking about before the dinosaurs. So there was not even the kind of vegetation we know about today. There were no trees. There was no nothing. Completely different levels of oxygen. No. To generate the reconstructed images, the AI model needs to work with two different types of information: the lower level visual properties of the image and its higher level meaning. For example, it's not just an angular, elongated object against a blue background. It's an airplane in the sky. The brain also works with these two kinds of information and processes them in different regions to link something. That's fascinating. Yeah, definitely worth looking into. Well, I am not claiming that it is 100% toads, but I take it as serious as any UAP story of a trip report or a trip report. We can't afford to just dismiss anything just because it seems unlikely. We don't dismiss it just because it's unlikely. It doesn't fit anything else that we know about. So you don't accept everything that is possible in theory. You investigate things that seem to be likely to be following at least one possible thread of evidence of any kind, logical or physical. This one doesn't really fit any of them, but again, if evidence shows up, great. But if you don't have even one case that's verified, then what's your reason to believing it, right? Or even accepting that it's possible? You would imagine, not like with UAPs, that there's a lot of reasons to postulate why UAPs wouldn't want to necessarily be kept or discovered. But with toads, if that's a thing, you would imagine that you would at least have one demonstration of this, no? Again, one of my favorite quotes by Terence McKenna summarizing Whitehead's work, which is that anything is possible. It's just that certain things went through the formality of actually occurring, and that is really the point in full. What is the first being assigned hyperspace? A dude that makes all the concepts that have to do with reptilians. That was my first encounter with the being. I danced to the safety dance in socks 14 times before stopping to be here. Huh? Yeah, there's some things that fit within the realms of possibilities, and there's just some things that don't. Yeah. And fucked. What? Hold on, I gotta. The London Hammer. This is great. It's real and it's fake. Well, I'll read it later. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Can turn it off for now. So I wish I would understand what you're talking about, Val, because that's it's just like one of these things, sometimes some of these stories are just like, yeah, I was driving in the middle of the night and all of a sudden my car disappeared. What? Most people take pieces amount. Oh, I can't even pronounce that word. Pieces amounts of mushrooms and call themselves initiates. Then great Terence McKenna quote. Well, hundreds of folks have reported this, specifically about toads. Wait, what do you mean reported? Why don't they have a picture and a demonstration of this? I don't care how many people reported it. Do you know how many people make shit up every year? The number will probably make you pause. Any documentation will always be some sort of spoken report. How come? Why? Aha. Thank you, Val. Middle paragraph is highlighted, say it all, and the internet just ran with it. Of course. Is that surprising? It's always safe to dance. Grateful Human is in the house. How are you, brother? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm doing well, brother. How about you?
I'm doing amazing. Glad to hear. Glad to see you come visiting.
Yeah.
Oh, you cutting in and out for some reason.
Okay, that's probably better. I think I got it now. Um, yeah. I've been wondering how the movie production's going. I figured you've probably been giving updates, but I haven't been online as much. But
What's up, people?
coming across you, I've been wondering how that's going.
Going great. We're basically done with almost everything just to do in the production side. Now we're moving to post production, prepping everything. Or to be more accurate, the team is prepping everything. So Aaron is leading an incredible team for the post production. So next month we're starting post production officially.
And is everything already set up as far as the rollout and selected through selected mediums, or how's that?
No,
how's that
no. Distribution is a separate thing. Yeah, we're working on that.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna go well because I think that it's anytime you have something that is challenging and or adding perspective to the fundamentals of reality, it's sort of it has a place to be heard and appreciated or challenged and seen for what it's worth. And so
Appreciate
I think it'll find its way.
I appreciate the kind words, brother. Yeah, we already have a lot of eyes on the project, more than I actually expected, to be quite honest. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's now it's just a matter of putting it in the right container. But we will deliver something that is very special and very beautiful, and it's not just about the story; it's more about how the whole thing, what it implies about all of us collectively. So yeah, Casey here that is with us also in the chat right now. He's also in the film. He came with us to do a couple of experiments.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I want to ask you a question, but
Sure.
I want to make room for your other guests first of all.
Now,
We're just saying.
how are you?
I'm doing amazing. I think you're asking both of us, right? Casey?
Oh, I was just saying, your the other guests, go for it. Just go for it.
Okay. Well, I hope you're well, sir. First of all, yeah, I was thinking about a few things. I had come across a video on my FYP where you were being interviewed and you gave the experience of the guitar and being shown how to play the guitar. And I'm thinking about, even at the beginning you mentioned it wasn't as if it were a language that you understood, but there was a knowing and a sort of automatic knowing of what was being communicated. And so there's all of this data. There's all of this data everywhere. And the sort of natural question is, how can the data be interpreted? And there are automatic answers. It can be interpreted through. It doesn't have to be interpreted. It's automatically interpreted through a knowing and through feeling. So that was sort of the beginning of my thoughts on it. But then I'm thinking how all of reality as we know it can be represented in sort of a binary code.
Mhm.
So it's really just a matter of overlapping into these different mediums of communication, whether it's through music or through pictures or like hieroglyphs or whatever. And I'm just wondering if you've had any experiences where there are indications that perhaps a song or something could represent a message that could be listened to and perhaps data be embedded within it or be felt versus through our mental constructs.
I think that my brain is just a little bit more boring than maybe most people's, and I do mean that. Like I think actually that my brain tends to take things to a much more the abstraction of things versus some deep meaning in the specificity of things. So, for example, claims like there's this. Now I know that's not what you're saying, but there's the kinds of claims that kind of postulate, if you play these special tunes or this special song, something will happen, the gate will open, something like that, right? There's like a special property to something. My brain tends to automatically assume, or my default is, there's no such thing. So my default is nothing is special. Everything has a deeper explanation, and ultimately it all culminates in some kind of a one thing that explains the whole thing. And you can say that's the oneness of everything, whatever it is. But ultimately, if I encounter a situation, the one with the song, maybe I should preface it by saying that I'm completely open to the possibility that I'm completely wrong about this. And actually, I was too dumb to understand that if I would pay attention to the song, actually that song would do something very special. I'm open to that. But I didn't. And if that was the case, they either overestimated my ability to memorize music or underestimated how, much I can miss the point. But in either case, that never even crossed my mind. Like it never even crossed my mind that the song would be anything special. What what did cross my mind is what I understood from it, which is that he was saying, "You don't know how to do this. I'm telling you how to do something you don't know how to do," which means I'm real because I'm giving you real information that you have no access to. That's what I took from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is it possible that there's like special messages or special magic words that you might say that might give you more access to more of what reality is? It's possible. In fact, abracadabra is basically, I don't know if you know, but like the origin is actually from the Talmud. It's actually from the Jewish tradition, and it's evra kadabra, which means that I will manifest as I would speak. So it's literally what it means, right? Which is like a very common trope in spiritual circles to say what you speak is what becomes, right? You speak it and you speak it into existence, which is also like in the beginning was the word. So it's a very deep symbolic thing. So in that regard, I do believe that it's possible probably to influence even physical matter if you have advanced enough of a language. I'm open to this kind of a exploration. And one way of thinking about language as a whole is actually exactly that, where you you send air pressure signals in a particular arrangement that influences a physical object, which is the brain, that conjures meaning out of it, and then it makes the physical unit that the receiver is to occupy a new state, which is the result of these exact uh, air pressure waves spoken in exactly like expressed in exactly that frequency and exactly that sequence. And this is why the really incredible speakers of history, Terence McKenna, famous presidents, whatever, whomever you can think about as your example, like incredible speakers, they literally enchant, and they like MLK and just like again, think of any great speaker. Like there's the fact that you can inspire internal states of other people just by speaking the right words in the right frequency tells me that there's definitely truth to this assumption. It's just that with music, for me in particular, it's like it's so far removed from what my brain can do that it's hard for me to imagine that if you're talking specifically about that instance with the frog, I would imagine they would have some understanding that I don't have that kind of understanding to interact with it on that level. Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit more zoomed in and a little bit more zoomed out. So like,
Love it.
you know, when we talk about communication, I'm thinking more just broadly communication, and even in that instance, it didn't seem to me that what you were quote unquote hearing was necessarily with your ears, as in your physical eardrums. It could have been perhaps senses of a different aspect of your being.
It's possible. Just in that case, he was showing me with his hands. He wasn't playing it for me. He was showing me with his hands. He was like, "Do this," and I would place my fingers where he was showing me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking, like, as far as zoomed out, when we talk about receiving communication from another, first of all, that other has to be recognized as existing, as real. So I'm thinking like trust. So a communication from somewhere else or someone else, do you get the sense that from your experiences there's a sort of benevolent nature to?
I can answer some of your question there if you want. So I've had two experiences. The first one was complete benevolence. It was a woman with a lion's head, and she had a guitar, and she was right there, and she sang, and the whole deal. And it was this, and the whole lesson that she gave me was about how the universe is built on sound. So it was beautiful. So then I have had another experience though, at a different time, which didn't feel as benevolent, which felt like electricity pinned me to the chair I was sitting in. Sorry. And all of a sudden it occurred to me like, fuck, is this what they call an abduction? A UFO abduction? What the hell's going on? And the TV came on and started flipping through the channels. And as it flipped through the channels, it was like communicating the message. And that was freaky. And, to the point where I couldn't break free from it. So, there's two different examples.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. You never know. In the case of the frogman, definitely felt like a very friendly presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've had experiences where I've had interactions with sort of non 3D kind of beings, I would say, and I don't believe that there can be a separation of time where there are senses or any sort of awareness. I just think that time is whatever the rules on those sort of planes or whatever. It's different, but the communication, I can definitely say that it wasn't with my physical eardrums.
Pure meaning.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It was like it was a conversation, but it occurred in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
But when I play back the conversation, it couldn't happen in an instant, so to speak, in the 3D. And so my kind of hypothesis about this is that if there's some sort of message or benefit that some within this mixed bag want to communicate, then there's got to be a process for that in terms of building trust, first of all, in their existence. And then I really appreciate that about you, Danny, as far as I think the simplistic way of kind of approaching things with also with the ability to kind of intellectualize, like you understand the intellectual sides of things, but the complex is within the simple, and the simple is like where the practicality is. So I think there's a lot of value in that. So I'm just I'm really interested in seeing how it all unfolds, because there's data everywhere. It's just, how is it to be interpreted? Is it to be interpreted? And where's it gonna go?
Where's it going to go? And actually, you gave me a great opportunity to mention something that we're trying to find access to. So I want to mention this on the line right now, to the extent of trying to figure this out. First of all, Chelsea said my experience with the molecule was very confusing. Well, I mean, yeah, you can say that again. It's a very common experience. So we are now working with a physicist we have a couple of physicists that are always kind of like, like advising, but we now have physicists who's like hands-on helping us, Alexander, to like think about this from the most first principles possible to eliminate all the skeptics' positions in a way of experimentation. So one of the experiments we've now devised, with the help of Alexander's ideas, is to basically try and record the field with a light field camera. And I don't know if you guys know what it is, but it's this new technology that basically, some of you might have seen this going around, where it looks like actors record themselves, and then it looks like you're talking to an actual hologram. Like it looks like a person in a window shop that you're talking to, but it's a screen. But it has multi-layered information, a light field information, just like in a hologram. So you're literally talking to a person. Like it looks like a person, and it's wild. So we got the camera. The thing is that the displays for this thing are very expensive. They're like $10,000 each. So before we purchase one, we first want to see if there's even a reason to. We want to record the laser field with it, and then see if we can run some experiments with that screen. So the question to all the audience, if somebody has access or knows somebody who owns one, please let me know. You can email me directly to dengoprox@gmail.com, dengoprox@gmail.com. And yeah, let me know, because we would really appreciate it for the movie if we can, either rent some time or use it for credit, whatever people are comfortable with, so we can see if there's anything there that we can discern. Because the idea is to see if we can specifically show that it's not speckle from a scientific perspective. Because speckle has particular properties that arise because it's a two-dimensional surface, and it has to do with the way that the stochastic pattern bounces light off of itself. But if you show it in a screen that's multi-layered, that's a different story. If you can see the code in that and you can't see the code in a simulation of that field, then it tells you something. So this is something we're going to be trying. If anybody has access to these screens or knows somebody who might, please let me know.
Yeah, that would be really cool to have that as a section in the movie, just kind of explaining that exact technology, and then I can kind of see it like going into like different takes of the experiment, and then how it played out. That would be really awesome.
Yeah.
My gut feeling about the whole thing, if I could be so bold as to share some ignorant perspective, my gut is that this is a foundational time, and it's like a tip of the iceberg, and that with the advancement of AI and particularly quantum computing, I've had a few conversations with my chat GPT about the implications of a kind of combination, or how quantum computing can impact AI and its development and its potential. And I feel like, because binary and reality being able to be all explained in binary code. With quantum computing, from my limited understanding, it kind of goes beyond that. It has that capacity, and so I believe that it could. My gut is that somehow there can be some kind of data transference, and that the trickle down through the quantum computing can somehow give some kind of interpretation, or it can somehow extrapolate in a useful way, or create some sort of connection to where a translation device, so to speak, to where whatever is meant to be communicated, perhaps and hopefully for the advancement or unification of humankind, it can be communicated.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the holy grail, isn't it? To see if it actually is some kind of an information that is being communicated versus just a thing that's being operated. Even there, we would be able to maybe discern something out of it. But yeah, I mean, if it's also a message, I mean, that would be wild. And I do agree that is just the beginning of the road. And the more new technologies become available, the easier it will be to discern some of these things.
Yeah. Well, Danny, I just wanted to come up for a second, chat with you. I always appreciate your groundedness, and I appreciate your work. And I look forward to more people knowing about it, and unity being able to be achieved from it. Because I believe that that's your purpose, and I think that's a good purpose.
I appreciate you, brother. So everybody go follow Grateful Human on TikTok. A regular guest on the show and a good friend. Grateful Human, everybody follow him.
Nice to see you again, Danny, and nice to
buddy.
meet you, others,
You
sir.
too, bud.
All right, I'll catch up with you guys later.
See
The
you,
best.
brother.
All right, bye.
How's your evening, Casey?
It's going good. I was just looking at the code just a minute ago. Looking for more.
You're a wild man, Casey.
Yeah, I was just thinking about things. What's the name of that screen you're looking for? Do you remember?
It's called light field display. Yeah, I'll send you a link. Light field display. There's a particular company that makes the majority of I'll send you the Looking Glass. I think is the company that makes the most. Yeah, I'll put it here.
Cool.
Yeah, they're like super expensive. Again, the production can afford it, but wasting $10,000 for something that we might just not need just because it looks cool, it's just not wise.
Yeah.
So if somebody has it, great. That would be better to. I put it on YouTube so you can see the link. Unfortunately, here there's no hyperlinks. It looks dope. I mean, that is the future without a
So
doubt.
cool.
They use it for medicine. They use it for communication. Literally, it looks like Princess Leia. Like you look at
Right.
a person. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I met people who played with it, and they said that it's just wild. If you recorded and you're looking at yourself, you just can't believe it. You're literally looking at yourself, and it looks like a regular person standing there. You're just looking at like a clone of yourself. I can't even imagine. Like, yeah, I can't wait to play with it. But yeah, that would give us some possibilities to play with. Okay, so I think actually for today, you guys process of filming. Yeah, we're almost done filming, Chelsea. Next month we're moving to post production officially. What's up, Brian? What else? Yeah, I think that we'll adjourn for today. Everybody follow Casey. It's CAW_AHA. Once again, it's CAW_AHA on TikTok. Casey is the wild man who is doing the molecule live for our shows and looking at the code and running all kinds of experiments. And is what do we call it? What do we call ourselves, Casey? Citizen scientist. I like that title. He's a citizen scientist himself. Who is always investigating. Yeah.
Did you look into the rental of these units yet?
No. Yeah, you see something that rents it out?
$22 for a 3-day rental.
$42.
22.
Oh, 22.
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
This is through the light field processor, HoloViewer software, on-site installation, transport, insurance.
That's crazy. Can you text me that link?
Yeah, Haloxa Limited.
Amazing. There we go. I think that's the solution. Yeah, see, incredible. I don't know why I didn't even think of that. The simplest, usually, sometimes the simplest solutions are the solutions you need are the simplest ones. Nico is saying, freaking Casey always comes through. Yes, he is. Okay, so just a couple of final announcements. Anybody who's not part of our Discord, come join our Discord. Wonderful community that loves talking about these things. You can find the links right now on YouTube on Dango Thoughts. Also on the third link from the top on my main YouTube page. Also in the link tree on TikTok, you can find that. And if you want to follow, once again, follow Casey, a good friend, CAW_AHA on TikTok. If you want to follow me across all platforms, it will be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. It will be Goller Danny on X, Laser X83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts. Come give us a follow. You can go to the store to codeofreality.com. Thank you so much for the get one of these awesome shirts with the laser, with Have You Seen the Code, and with the old logo. We have a new one, and this is going to be a collector's item right after we're done with these shirts. We also have a mug on the store with the old logo, and you can get either one or both, and you help in the project, and it will be a collector's item because it will not exist anymore. Literally, this will not exist anymore. So go do that, and if you want to join the membership program on YouTube, you can do that as well. Again, it's Dango Thoughts, which includes live calls, weekly lives, aside from these daily lives that are for members only. We had one yesterday. We talked about the double slit experiment. It was awesome. First of all, you have access to all the previous ones, of course, and it happens every week where we go deeper into subjects. We watch videos, we analyze them, we look at papers, we talk about aliens, we do all kinds of fun things. Carter, so good to see you, my brother. And it includes Zoom calls with me once a month if you join the second tier and up, and it includes early access to all my content and private things in my life that will exist nowhere else but on YouTube members. So if you can do all of these things or some of these things to help the project progress, I appreciate all of you. Casey, thank you so much, brother, for being so amazing and always joining. Evil Icon, thank you so much for being so supportive. Nico, love you, brother. Carter. All our wonderful moderators, Ebony and Chris and Guru and Jessica, thank you guys for doing such incredible work. Val, thank you for always making us laugh. Who else? Terry, Blue Rooster, Nico, I mentioned Nicola as well, and Power Off, and all the people that are showing up on a regular basis and making this community what it is. I really appreciate you. It always feels incredible to know that we're a slowly growing, incredible family. There we go. We're not going to give that number. Love you guys. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao. Have a good night, guys. Come on. Come on, YouTube. Yes. Have a good night, everyone.